Hey, what's up you guys, it's Navelow here, giving you 5 quick tips and 5 pro tips for the new legend that has been introduced with Season 3. During Season 2, Wattson was dominating lobbies and Caustic was a pain to play against, so Respawn decided to add a direct counter to both legends. Coming from South Korea is our new legend, Crypto. Before I start, I made a video talking about a possible new legend coming to Apex Legends called LOBA. I go over her abilities, passive ability, and ultimate. If you're interested in staying up to date with all the latest news and leaks Apex has to offer, then make sure to check out the video, link will be in the description below, and subscribe to the channel. So on the screen right now is a timestamp to the advanced tips, so if you want to skip ahead you can, but I would recommend watching all the way through in case you learn something new. I promise I will keep everything short and sweet for you. Now on to the tips. Tip number 1. To play the legend, you must know the legend. So here are all Crypto's abilities explained. First is his passive ability called Neuralink. Crypto and his teammates see what his surveillance drone detects up to a 30-meter distance. This means when Crypto's drone is being manually or autopiloted, your team can see where the drone scans people in a 30-meter radius. This gives your team an upper hand on the enemies, allowing you and your squad to see where they're coming from. Next is his tactical ability. He can deploy an aerial camera drone, which has a 40-second cooldown if destroyed. If you don't already know, Crypto has a surveillance drone that he can either have on autopilot or manual control. This allows him to have amazing control of the area he's in. So when you land and start looting, throw up your drone so it can help you detect where enemies are coming from. Lastly is his ultimate ability, a drone EMP. The blast deals 50 shield damage and slows players down and destroys all traps. Like I said before, Crypto is a direct counter to Caustic and Wattson, as he is able to destroy traps and ultimates. Quick note about his ultimate. The stun of the EMP does affect your teammates, but it doesn't take their shields away, so it's kind of like how Caustic gas reacts to your teammates. So this will slow down their movement and also take away their shield if close enough to it. So be careful when using this EMP drone. Tip number 2, don't wait to use your EMP. Now that we know what Crypto can do, let's see how to use them. When it comes to using ultimates, people can be hesitant to activating them. Don't be with Crypto though. Have you ever had that situation where you're fighting a team and one player is playing a little bit further from their teammates with the longbow, and every time you peek, your shields are already gone and they're ripped by him? This might not seem like an opportune time to use the EMP blast, but isolating enemies is the easiest way to get squad wipes. Don't hold your ultimate for the best possible time to hit all 3 enemies. Just stunning one enemy can be the difference between life and death. If you've ever played Overwatch or any game with a rechargeable ability, you should know that holding your ultimate for too long can hurt your team more than help them. So using it on 1 or 2 players might not be the ideal EMP, but it can be the difference between winning and losing a gunfight. Tip number 3, your drone can open and close things on the map. Here's another scenario for you. Have you ever been in a long range fight with somebody and they're looking through a door but you can't open it since you're so far away from them? Well, Crypto's drone can open and close doors. That's right, when in manual control of the drone, you can use it to open doors of an enemy's base to be able to take some free shots on them. Not only can the drone open and close doors, but can also open loot bins. So this can act as a hands-off way of looting to be more safe. Not sure if a building is looted? Send your drone over there and open some doors, and now you can see if the loot is waiting there to be picked up or if a team of 3 is camping in a corner. Tip number 4, loadout is key. As Crypto is a hacker with a surveillance drone that you can take manual control over, his loadout is more important than any other legend in the game. If you plan to switch from a Wattson main to a Crypto main, then start getting excited because your loadout is more than likely going to stay the same. Wattson was the backbone of Season 2 compositions. She was a legend who played it cool with a longbow, sitting back, giving cover fire while her Pathfinder and Wraith players were in the front line, and Crypto is no different. Sure, you can pair Crypto up with any guns and have a good player still come out on top, but we are talking about taking full advantage of what Crypto can do for your squad. We want to use him to his full potential. With that said, he is going to be the backbone of many team comps again this season. The best kind of loadout for Crypto would be having a long range weapon like a longbow or the newly buffed Scout, and a close to medium range gun for diversity. If you want to use Crypto's abilities to the max, you will have to play him as a slow legend like the developers intended. This means hanging back, giving fast-paced legends information with your drone as you simultaneously swap to your gun to give cover fire. Now for the last quick start guide tip. Number 5, use when needed in a safe place. I think new players trying to learn Crypto for the first time will be like little kids on Christmas. As they marvel and only play with one toy, they forget about all the other ones that they got. Don't forget about all the other things you have to do as a team player. This means don't overuse your drone and don't use it in every engagement. You won't need it for a close range battle unless you plan to use the EMP. I'm not saying to not use the drone and get a hang of it, but I'm saying don't get stuck in the mindset of using it every single chance that you can. This is better used for long range battles to gain information information about players' positions. Also, if you're sliding down a mountain and pop your drone out, the sliding animation will continue until you reach the bottom when activating the drone. So this way you can still be moving while you're in manual control of the drone. Now on to the pro tips. Tip number 1, drone positioning. As we just talked about where to place yourself when going into manual mode of the drone, now I want to talk about how to utilize this drone with its full potential with its positioning. As you can see by this gameplay, Doom 49 was in the final circle fighting the last team. Instead of being dead weight and being in manual control of the drone the whole time, he places his drone high in the sky looking down at the enemy, so his drone will automatically track and scan the other team. This way him and his team can shoot at the other team, as his drone will do all the work for them. This might seem obvious, but it's a really smart tip to point out. Just be aware that your drone is one shot and has sound while it's moving, so try not to place it right out in the open. Tip number 2, door blocking. This tip might be short, but it sure as hell is sweet. Caustic players were well known for placing their traps in front of doors, blocking players from being able to open them. Crypto's drone can do the same. If you position Crypto's drone in front of a door, it can be used as a body blocker, allowing you to take time to heal. If you're in a building with 2 doors, you can place your drone in front of one door and you can hold the other. This will come in really handy for solo players when their teammates die. Tip number 3, how to move faster with the drone. This tip is a rather situational one, but I think it's a hidden tip that can be really useful. When Respawn added the moving train to the map, how many people landed there? I mean, this is the first moving platform that you can fight on in Apex Legends, so I bet a lot of people wanted to check it out. Did you know that if you activate Crypto's drone while on the train, the drone will fly faster? If you manually control the drone and drift close to the train while moving, the drone will fly faster, keeping up with the train speed. But the real tip is something called drifting. If you are on the train and control your drone, you can fling your drone off the train's slipstream, allowing you to gain extra initial speed boost. This can allow you to activate your EMP faster while fighting a team or gain some extra surveillance quickly. Since there are multiple train stations where the train stops, you can use this knowledge by flinging your drone in front of the train, allowing Crypto to see if enemies are waiting to kill you at the station. Tip number 4, public banner information. This might seem a little confusing, so let me explain. You know the 3 banners that are displayed around the map that Crypto was hacking near the end of season 2? If you use your drone in manual mode and look at the banners, it will tell you the amount of players that are in your drone's meter radius. This can be really useful information by finding solos who are playing for better placements and making sure that a team isn't coming up from behind you for a third party. And last but not least, tip number 5, for easy getaways. This map's layout is a lot different from what we have seen before in Kings Canyon. This brings a new set of challenges of how to disengage fights and get away from third parties. This last pro tip is a combination of smaller tips. Firstly, your drone cannot be destroyed when it's in the zone. Just like other Legends traps, it can only be destroyed by player interaction, so you can use the drone for an extra pair of eyes when gatekeeping. If you don't know what gatekeeping is, it's basically where you camp the edge of circle for some extra kills. But say if you're in a bad situation and you need to get away from enemies, but you don't want them to follow you, Crypto can play a big part in your team's movement. Crypto's EMP destroys all traps in Ultimate, just like Watson's Pylon and Octane's Jump Pad. So if you have a Pathfinder or an Octane on your team, you can use their movement ultimate so you can get away and go back with the drone and EMP the jump pad so it will be destroyed. In return, this makes it harder for the enemy team to catch up to you. So I really hope that you guys did learn something new in this video, and if you did, make sure to leave a like on this video. And if there's anything that I can do different to make my videos better, be sure to tell me how to do it in the comment sections below. And not to mention, all the links that I mentioned will also be in the description below, alongside my Twitch channel where you guys can see me play live. So guys, please comment and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching this video. See ya. Bye.